I'm going to drive my charge from the last conversation. Fantastic conversation. And while sitting there, I was telling the young women around me to say, do you know that today's Nigeria was built by young women? Now ask the question, how old was Margaret Ekpo when she went to discuss the independence of Nigeria? How old was Funmilayo Ransome Kuti in the 60s? So, and we have our iconic Aisha Yusufu here. Please, another round of applause for Aisha. Thank you. We have had a lot of discussion, powerful conversation here. And it is time for action. And I add Natasha saying, enough of talk. It's time for action. We have had the minister told us about 33 VAP laws have been passed in this country. And we're still asking questions. We need implementation. They've talked about the issue of sexual and reproductive rights. You know what is happening in America currently, the Roe and Wade. Our situation in Nigeria is probably even worse. Abortion is not even legal in this country. And we know how many young people have died, due to abortion in this country because of lack of information, no access to contraceptive, and a whole lot of other things. And we are not seeing that as an issue yet. So ladies and gentlemen, it's important for us to call our government to action. A lot of issues have been raised in this panel, and I will draw my call for action on that. The first issue that was quite clearly raised here was the need for us to audit our laws. Most of the laws that we still have currently, they are still discriminatory. And I heard Natasha saying, it's the same thing in our own country. We still have that problem in this country. We have a section 55 of our penal code in this country, which says you can beat your wife insofar as it does not cause grievous harm in this country. So it's a call of action to audit those laws that are discriminatory against women. Yes or no? Let me hear your A. Then the second call to action is the need to guarantee access to reproductive rights services, including information that will allow women to be able to make a choice on their right to their bodily integrity. Do we agree with that? The third call that I want to make is on implementation of the child rights law. We have heard about the implication of the early child marriage on this country. We know the data, we know the statistic. So it's important for us to begin to make that strong call, for that. So we call for the implementation of the child rights law to address in particular issues of early marriage and other harmful traditional practices that have continued to kill our children and young people in this country. Now, a lot of conversations had also come around the issue of the grand norm, which is the Constitution of Nigeria. We, myself, my sister Aisha, my sisters here and there, and, even with the Minister for Women Affairs, we were in front of the National Assembly for a whole month making a demand for the gender bills to be passed. What were we asking for? We were asking for inclusion. We were asking for representation. We were asking for people to recognize our dignity as women in Nigeria. Where do we start from? As we speak today, we cannot claim our state of origin. Nigerian women are still stateless. If you move from one state to another, you become stateless because you are married. That cannot be happening in 2023 in Nigeria. And that's why we stood in front of the National Assembly for a whole month. And we are not going to stop. We will continue to make that demand. We will not stop. No retreat, no surrender. So the other issue which I also want to raise is the issue of gender and equal opportunity bill. The bill has been there. It's a bill that is implementing the international norms that have been signed, whether by the AU, whether by the protocol on the rights of women in Africa. We are insisting that the gender and equal opportunity bill, it's important. We must have equal opportunity. When my sister was speaking about being Nala, she talked about what equality means. So who should be afraid of equal opportunities in this country? Who should be afraid? Ask the National Assembly. So we are asking that the gender and equal opportunity bill also become a law in this country. We're also asking that we should recognize a lot of young women had come up with apps on sexual harassment in schools to report. During our own time, we had that complete silence. Is it happening? They say they don't know. It doesn't happen. But today, the young people had raised the bar. As we speak today, the National Assembly had signed into law the prohibition of sexual harassment in tertiary institutions in Nigeria law, but the president is yet to assent it. So we are calling for immediate assent of that sexual harassment prohibition law in this country. It's a call of action, and the president has to do this. He has just 1 year left to spend, and he needs to do the needful for women. So these are some of the very important issues that come up from this conversation. I love the conversation. I love you, Natasha. I love you, my sister Ayodeji, and I love Dr. So that the men don't say we don't love them. I love everybody. Thank you very much.